Hey guys, it's 4 AM in the morning and I'm heading to work here. I had an opportunity before I went to bed to break out Scythe and give it a go and check out the Automa, the solo AI for the game. And I thought when I get home I'll have a quick chat about it in comparison to the solo mechanisms for a few war games and just see how it stacks up. So we'll switch over now and I should be finished work and at home with Scythe talking to you. Okay, so it's not so much an overview of Scythe. There's plenty of videos out there that will do all that for you. This is just my thoughts on the game, and as a caveat, I've only played it the once solo mode on the easy automata mode, and so I'm not fully experienced with it. But my initial impressions are very positive with this game. It's a very slick Euro. It has got interesting new mechanics and beautiful to look at. I'm a great fan of components and the whole tactile thing about board games is what attracts me to the hobby in a big way. And in that score it performs very, very well. I think it's a Stonemaier game, and I have one of their other games, Dungeon Lords Anniversary Edition, and that's a beautiful game as well. So they're obviously a company that does an excellent job in presenting their games. So this game is a slick, very easy Euro to play. I think I've seen it written down or noted as complex. I think it's a very easy game. I learnt this game in 20 minutes, watched a video, and it was easy. And but that belies the fascinating nature of the game itself. And I think that's where the beauty of this game lies, is that it's not difficult to learn. It has those new mechanics, and I think it's a game that might retain your interest quite well in terms of repeated plays. I really like it, but the main reason I got it, as I mentioned earlier in my unboxing video, was because I wanted to explore the AI in this game, and from my very limited experience, it plays exceedingly well. The AI gives you what appears to be a very good challenge, plays relatively smartly, and I suspect as you go up the difficulty level will give you a very, very serious challenge, which is quite nice as well once you master the earlier or the lower difficulty ones. The beauty about AIs, what I like about AIs most, and what I appreciate about the good AIs, is ones that make you feel like you're playing a face-to-face opponent. And in this sense, you don't feel like you're playing just necessarily against some cards. It does feel like you're playing against some smart human player. So that's a real positive for me. So just in terms of my feelings about the game, very pleased I bought it. I think it'll get a few plays here and there, and I hope to explore the Automa AI in a lot more detail. Okay, but I really wanted to talk about the AI in comparison to some of the AIs in military board games, because there may be some Euro gamers out here that have picked up this game, have played it, have explored the AI and think that's great, and maybe would like something a little bit deeper to explore the AIs themselves. Which leads me to another point. Part of my enjoyment in wargaming, particularly military board games, is learning the rules. And often many people find that a chore, and I imagine it depends on your personality, but for me, I get enjoyment out of learning rules, and particularly new rules with new mechanics, and that's part of the process for me. So I get good value out of the games. Not only do I get value when I'm playing them, but also when I'm learning them as well. It's quite a stimulating affair, certainly mentally, if you've got games that are quite complex. And I just wonder if there are some Euro players out there that may like to dabble in some more complex AIs, along with dabble in some more military history games or politically historical games as well. So let's just talk about that briefly. So the Scythe AI is run by these Automa cards here, and I'm not going to go into detail about it because there are plenty of videos out there that are doing it. But essentially you just run through a set of priorities here, follow them through, and if your AI can take those actions, it takes them. And this is a really neat method of running an AI. It's very slick. It runs very, very quickly in this game, and it's not hard to get to grips with. I really, really like it. And that leads me on to the fact that this is a very similar system to another one that's in the military gaming genre. So you've got Scythe, and then you've got the Conflict of Heroes series. Now, most of my viewers will know exactly what this series is, but for those that don't, it's a tactical wargaming. And it has a solo AI expansion, or solo expansion, that is predominantly run by these sets of cards. And these cards here are very much like the Automa cards, in so much that you run down a set of priorities. The difference being is when you're playing something like Scythe, you've got a very, very simple board here, and you've got a limited set of options that you can do with a mix, characters and workers. Whereas if you're playing something like Conflict of Heroes, you have multiple types of units that all operate differently, whether they're mechanized units, they're infantry, they're artillery, and so forth. So you are making a major step up in complexity when you are going to an AI for a war game, as opposed to something like this Euro here. But don't be put off, because the AI for Conflict of Heroes is, in my opinion, the best in the business, and absolutely groundbreaking solo AI that really, when it's played and understood, is very quick in its playing, and best of all, you really feel like you're playing a human opponent. And I can't recommend, and I've said it in my earlier videos, the Conflict of Heroes series highly enough in combination with the solo expansion. Fantastic. At the moment, there's only a solo expansion out for Awakening the Bear, which is basically around the time of Operation Barbarossa in 1941, but there are others in the pipeline for the other editions of Conflict of Heroes, Guadalcanal, and so forth. So for any Eurogamers that like the AI in Scythe and would like to try something a little bit more complex, if you're interested in AI processes, you can't go past Conflict of Heroes Awakening the Bear with the solo expansion. Now, that said, there are even more interesting AIs around in the military history and political history arena, and we'll just take a quick look at those. So, Colonial Twilight, the French-Algerian War, just released by GMT Games, and most of you who follow my channel will know all about my thoughts on this game. Fantastic. So AI wise though, this is one of the better coin games in terms of, I think, accessibility for the solo player. Not that all the coin games aren't fantastic, but in terms of complexity level, you are going a step up when you go to a coin game, even more so than the previous two mentioned games. The matrix or the flowcharts in the coin AIs are a lot more, what's the word for it? I don't want to say convoluted, but there's a lot more to them, and there's a lot more time investment required to fully comprehend and to get the AIs running in a coin game. But Colonial Twilight is probably the slickest of the lot for the solo player. And if you're looking for to delve into solo play even more, I can't recommend Colonial Twilight enough. It's very, very good, as are the other coin games as well. But certainly a step up in learning the AI, and there is a degree of patience needed, particularly if you're not new to the system. But the rewards are excellent, because you're looking at a fantastic series of games that delve into the political and historical events of the time, with some conflict involved as well. So that's Colonial Twilight and the coin series. So they don't operate off the cards like Scythe and the Conflict of Heroes system do, but they do have a very interesting set of mechanics. Now, if you want to take another step up in your Solo AI Gaming, you can take a look at some of the games designed by a terrific designer, Mark Herman, and his latest one is Pericles, the Peloponnesian Wars. And this is a game in a similar vein to his other recent release, Churchill, which is superb. And this game provides for a AI system that I believe is even a step up on the coin games in terms of complexity, but some of you may disagree with that, but nonetheless. So this is the name of the AI for Pericles. That's Formio, and you can see here's the Athenian strategy matrix. Okay, so you've got a lot of work involved in learning these AIs, which is something I really enjoy. That process, as I mentioned earlier, it's part of the fun for me in gaming, and I haven't fully explored, or haven't explored Pericles at all, to be perfectly honest, but really looking forward to delving into this one and giving it some time as well. But another AI game that some of you Euro players that may want to look into, but be warned, there is much more investment in learning rules in these games than there are in your Euros. But the rewards for learning these games and learning them well are very, very good, because you get some great experiences, some experiences you'll never get in games like this. Games like Scythe give you fun experiences, but you know, they're limited in terms of it. How much fun you get over a number of years, whereas in something like Pericles, you explore these games and you explore strategies, and the depth in these games is markedly above your standard type Euros. I'm not knocking these games, they serve a fantastic purpose, and for many people that's as much as they want, but for those of you that want to get into gaming a bit more and you lack your opponents, you know, something like this is just great stuff. Notwithstanding, these are all multiplayer face-to-face games as well. Okay, so that's Pericles, the Peloponnesian Wars. Another one I highly recommend is Mark's previous release, Churchill. Fantastic. Great historical games. Okay, so that was a bit of a ramble about solo gaming. I know I've missed a lot of games. You know, games like D-Day at Omaha Beach, which are dedicated solo games, which are fantastic. But I just wanted to touch on it, particularly for maybe those Euro gamers, as I said, that might be interested in going a bit deeper into solo playing and more meatier games. But overall, very, very pleased with Scythe. I think it's going to be a great little game to have and bring out from time to time, and I'll keep you updated in future as to my thoughts on the game as I progress into it a little bit more. As usual, team, thanks for watching. Appreciate your viewing, and hope you get some value out of it, and have a great morning, afternoon, or evening, or whatever you're at the moment.